Tell them to get the hell out of Palestine. Remember, these people are occupied, and it's their land. It's not German, it's not Poland.
So where should they go? What should they do?
They go home.
Where's the home?
Poland.
So the Jews,
Germany.
You think Jews go back to Poland and Germany?
And America and everywhere else.
Veteran White House correspondent Helen Thomas last week making comments posted on the blog RabbiLife.com. Several journalists are calling for her to step down, and Thomas has since apologized for this. Here with us now, NBC News White House correspondent and co-host of MSNBC's The Daily Rundown, Savannah Guthrie. Savannah, good morning.
Good morning.
Gosh, what's the continued fallout there, at least pertaining to this story? Helen Thomas has apologized, saying she deeply regrets this.
Well, right. Although for some that apology didn't go near far enough. It's an incredibly awkward situation, certainly for the White House Correspondents Association, which is the entity that actually controls her access to the press room and her seating in the front row of the press room. She was given this ceremonial kind of honorary front row seat because of her long career here at the White House. And so it will be very interesting to see how the White House Correspondents Association decides to deal with this. We haven't heard Robert Gibbs asked about it. We haven't heard the president asked about it. But these comments, of course, are deeply offensive to many, many people. And on the other hand, a lot of people look at Helen Thomas. They think, well, she did apologize. Let's face it, she's a woman advanced in years, and people wonder, you know, if she really grasped what she was saying. She was stopped on the street. So it's just a very awkward, unfortunate situation. She's very irascible. She asks a lot of pointed questions in the briefing room. It's clear what side of this issue she falls on in the briefing room, but obviously these comments just went even further than anybody can really stomach.
Anthony, what do you think? As you know, I'm very pro-Israel, was when I was on the floor. My point was, 89-year-old, I wouldn't want you sticking a camera in my grandmom's face, but maybe that's a suggestion that maybe she needs to retire and get out of the...
Well, you know, journalists are allowed to have their own opinions. The much more damning video that came out recently, if you look at her in the briefing room questioning Gibbs after this, I mean, it crossed the line. It looked a lot like...
What was she doing?
She was saying things like, how can you allow such an outrageous thing to go on? She said the intentional killing of people. You know, the problem that she has here is that she has allowed her bias, which is clear and borders on anti-Semitism, to come into her reporting. That's the real challenge. Not that she has an opinion that's outrageous.
maybe it's good to get her a cake and retire her from the front row. No, I'm dead serious. Before she does any more damage to herself.
I mean,
she's had a great career, and it might be time to just go.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think, you know, these are tough issues, and you're being a journalist and having your own opinions and not letting them seep in is not an easy thing to do. In her case, clearly a line has been crossed, and I also think something else. I think anyone who runs her stories has a credibility issue themselves.
I think they do at this point.
All right, and Savannah, the word out of the White House today pertaining to the oil spill and all the criticism that the White House is receiving on the opinion pages throughout the weekend. What's the latest there?
Well, look, he's going to meet with cabinet officials and get a briefing today on the Gulf oil spill. This is obviously a White House that recognizes needs to show that the president is on top of this situation. Actually, Admiral Thad Allen is going to come to the White House briefing room and give a briefing to reporters this morning at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And, of course, Thursday, the president has invited family members, relatives of the 11 people who lost their lives in that oil rig disaster, a fact that because of the continuing oil spill and that crisis, some people say has really been lost in all of this. So we don't expect him to travel again to the Gulf area this week, at least not at the moment, but he will be meeting with the families on Thursday here at the White House.
All right, Savannah Guthrie, thank you very much. And you can catch Savannah on MSNBC's The Daily Rundown at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Coming up...